This one's rather lengthy also. It was stated that the new 1 cent property tax rate increase was necessary to account for inflation and to attract and retain talented employees. The 1 cent would generate roughly $344,000 in tax revenue. In the September board meeting, the commissioners approved $290,000 of taxpayer money to cover an unbudgeted expense of a Jinks Creek dredging study. Even though the engineer stated that he felt the project would be approved, how would you recoup this sudden $290,000 budget shortfall if this project does not happen?
So Mark alludes to the group that wants to have Jinks Creek dredged. In the meeting yesterday, or actually in the meeting a month ago, the gentleman who was speaking for that group at one point in questioning, actually under Tom Aiken, did indicate that they would go ahead and pay for the $290,000 if they had to. It was at that point, in my opinion, the meeting should have stopped, and we should have said, great, go ahead and pay the $290,000 if you're willing to do it, and there's no reason for the town to risk any money whatsoever. For some reason that did not happen, and the vote proceeded, and the $290,000 was allocated. I spoke to the gentleman who made that proposal a couple of weeks later, and I confirmed with him that he did indeed say yes, that they would have paid for it. He said it very grudgingly, as he said, 75%, which is what grants are expected or whatever, to pick up the vast majority of the dredging. 75% is great, especially if you only have to pay 25, but he was basically, if we got to pay the whole thing, okay, we'll pay the whole thing. So why that decision was made in the first place, I leave it to you to decide. If we are looking for money, if it all falls through, then there are areas we would not want to cut. For example, we would not want to cut fire or public safety or beach renourishment. We would have to look in other areas of the general fund to pull that money back out of, and any projects that had been designated, such as things like the $290,000 or floodgates for canals that we spent some money on. Those would be the first projects that I would look to eliminate or at least postpone until the next year to make up for a shortfall that, sorry to be blunt about it, but we never should be in this position.